This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Monday morning. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. Here's what's making headlines on this April 20th.
You know, whether or not they see that they're essential. I mean, obviously it is essential to us. Every business is essential to the employees of that business. And that's why I'm here.
Protesters in Indiana join a nationwide effort to end stay-at-home orders across the country. Why they say businesses need to reopen now and the response from health leaders. Well, some good news for Hoosiers needing financial help this morning. Another $200 million from the Federal CARES Act will be distributed through the Department of Workforce Development. Working for You will tell you when you could see that money. And a local church is showing love to its pastor. Why members of Lawrence United Methodist Church threw this parade for Pastor Joseph Johnson and his priceless reaction. But before we get to those top stories here, we've got to get a check of your Storm Team 6 forecast. Todd Clausen is joining me from home this morning. And Todd, looking forward to seeing what your forecast has in store today. Yesterday, by the end of the day, things were looking pretty good.
Yeah, you know, you had to be patient, but eventually we got into that sunshine yesterday, Lauren. That was the good news. As soon as that sunshine came out, it just felt a whole lot better out there. I always say the difference between sunshine and overcast sky is about 10 degrees. So as soon as we got into that sunshine, temperatures were in the 60s. It felt great. We're going to carry that nice weather over into the forecast for the day today. So what do you need to grab before you go? We'll have the sunglasses handy, as well as the light jacket this morning. And don't forget the sunscreen. My forehead got a little red yesterday as I was sitting outside, and we got into that sun in the afternoon hours that we had talked about. Temperatures right now, 30s and 40s across the area, 44 in Martinsville, 37 in Peru throughout the day today. The skies are in the process of clearing out. We'll have nothing but sunshine from start to finish. It's really going to be a nice day for us, and with that sunshine, we're going to see our high temperatures climb all the way up into the mid-60s. Get out there and enjoy. We'll talk more about the rest of your forecast coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Want to take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this Monday. A big change that you will see is right here at I-65 and Keystone Avenue. This is just south of the downtown area. You'll notice a major traffic shift. All the traffic is going to be in the southbound lanes. That means southbound is restricted. In northbound I-65, you're going to have a big traffic shift over into the southbound lanes. So slow down as you approach that area because you will have to take a pretty sharp turn to your left if you're coming in from northbound I-65. Expect delays. Watch for crews working in that area during the daytime hours and continue to keep an eye out for any changes as they work on this bridge project. We do not want to go to the latest now on COVID-19 and the impact it's having on Hoosier lives. State health officials confirm that more than 11,000 coronavirus cases are here in the state of Indiana. On Sunday, health officials reported 577 more cases and 17 additional deaths. A total of 562 Hoosiers have died from the virus so far. We do want to report some good news this morning. We have learned that on Friday, the Indiana COVID-19 recoveries outnumber the deaths. According to the State Department of Health, of the nearly 8,000 positive cases analyzed, 26% of the cases required hospitalizations. And of those hospitalized, 68% have recovered and they were released from the hospital. So that is good news this morning. As stay-at-home order continues in our state, a large protest was held outside of the governor's residence on Saturday. The message from protesters is one filled with frustration. They say people need to be able to return to work and small businesses need to open. And the protest here was just one of many held across the country. John Lawrence has more.
Protests in numerous cities this weekend calling for an end to stay-at-home orders.
Freedom and liberty. We're losing it.
Those measures were put into place as a way to help limit the spread of the coronavirus, which has infected more than 750,000 Americans, according to Johns Hopkins University.
Just by staying home, your actions may have and likely did save lives.
It's also crippled the U.S. economy, with 22 million people filing for unemployment in the past 4 weeks.
It's killing my business. I can't see any of my clients, even though it's a very small amount. And I can't get the assistance that I need. The PPP loan is out, the EIDL loan, I got denied.
But not everyone is ready for things to reopen.
I'm just grateful that Governor DeWine has kept us safe in the actions he's taken so far. and the curve has been flattened in Ohio by the efforts of everybody.
Some health officials and governors say a lot more testing is needed before restrictions are eased.
With all due respect, I think there's anybody who thinks we're doing this just to take away people's liberties and rights isn't looking at the data that we're looking at. We're doing what we're doing to try to save lives.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Well, last week in Indiana, Governor Eric Holcomb announced a short extension of the Hunker Down Hoosiers executive order until May 1st. He says he's working with health officials, studying data, and letting the facts determine the appropriate next steps. We expect to learn more about the plan to reopen our state in the coming days. At 5:05, when the coronavirus pandemic hit, Hoosiers all across the state lost their jobs because of its impact on businesses. But there is some relief this morning as unemployment checks are starting to hit bank accounts. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with all the details and what you need to know. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So some people received their first unemployment check of $600 on Friday, and we know that there's more expected to hit people's bank accounts today. So Department of Workforce Development Commissioner Fred Payne says his office has been working around the clock to update their system so they could pay people under the pandemic unemployment compensation plan. He says today about $200 million will be sent out.
Those payments are retroactive. That encompasses people who've already filed claims from March 28th or the week ending April 4th.
And if you haven't already, you can still apply for unemployment. You will need an email address, a valid ID, information of your last employer, and your bank routing number. And if you're looking for a job right now, you can always head over to hiringhoosiers.com for a list of tons of places that are hiring. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. The time right now is 5:06. The economy closure due to the coronavirus could cost local governments more than $200 million across the state of Indiana. That's according to a study by Ball State University. Our Alyssa Donovan has the details on those numbers and what it could mean for you. Alyssa.
Over the past several weeks, there's been a major decrease in several tax revenue streams that local and state governments typically receive. So what does that mean for when we return to normalcy? I spoke with an expert to find out.
There are going to be some communities that really face tough decisions. They have a very high local income tax. They rely on food and beverage and innkeeper's tax, or they have a very large casino tax.
Michael Hicks, the director for business and economic research at Ball State University, says those revenue streams have taken a major downturn. In a recent study they conducted, they found local governments across the state of Indiana could face a combined hundreds of millions of dollars in loss due to the lack of tax revenue.
I think we're closer to $360 million, which is tough for local governments because there's no fat in most local governments in Indiana, but it's not catastrophic.
Hicks says most taxpayers are paying at or near their property tax capacity, so the impact on the average Hoosier will fall in the form of government services.
So maybe your parks aren't going to be mowed as frequently. Maybe there's going to be a longer wait in line at the city county office.
Which also means local government employee jobs could be on the line.
Furlough workers, perhaps one day a month for the next year. Maybe if you think about the ways that state government or local government can cut money back, it's almost all people.
However, Hicks believes Indiana's local and state governments were more prepared for something like this than other places across the country, which could be helpful in coming months.
We certainly have a much bigger state rainy day fund. I think most of our local governments have a rainy day fund.
And Hicks says the hope is that this unprecedented event will be followed by an unprecedented recovery for both businesses and unemployment. The team at Ball State is continuing to do research. They'll be releasing more studies on the long-term impact of COVID-19 in the near future. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. It is 5:09. Indy Parks is now enforcing new rules at city parks to prevent overcrowding. Eagle Creek Park began restricting vehicle access this weekend to maintain social distancing. The park will be open to people who walk or bike. All four of the city's dog parks will also be closed until further notice.
I had no clue that this was happening. And when I saw the horses, I said, oh, there must be a parade coming. And when the first car stopped by, I just thought it was some friends of ours that had just driven by to drop off some cheesecake.
Well, members of the Lawrence United Methodist Church wanted to show their pastor just how much they appreciate him, and they did it by pulling off this big surprise. The group met at the church on Sunday and then drove by Pastor Joseph Johnson's house holding signs, honking horns. They say Pastor Johnson has been there for everyone in the congregation, not only before the virus, but constantly throughout this time as well. The church has been holding virtual services on Sundays, Bible studies twice a week, and church prayer groups on Wednesday using Zoom.
I heard about the plan just a few days ago. However, I did not know Channel 6 was going to be involved. So that was definitely a surprise for me, a really nice surprise. But it was difficult to try to keep this man to stay home. He really, really loves his job, loves being at the church.
He is always there for us whenever we need prayers, whenever he's breaking bread with us, he's praying with us, he's joining in.
My hope and anticipation is that people will build on the excitement that's come from dealing with adversity and realize that even in dark times that we can hold on to the hands of each other and hold on to the hands of God.
Very cool. Well, a total of 63 members drove by the pastor's home in this parade, including those 2 horses that normally take part in their Palm Sunday celebrations. All right, time right now to check in with Todd at his home. Todd, we're not parading by this morning, but you do have some good news for us in the forecast.
Yeah, you know, you can come parade by later on this afternoon on your walk around town with sunshine and temperatures in the 60s. There'll be a lot of people, I think, walking around across town, no matter where you are here in central Indiana later on this afternoon, because we're all going to enjoy the sunshine and we're all going to enjoy the warmer temperatures. That's the good news. As you walk out the door this morning, if you have to do so, maybe you're one of those early risers and likes to get that walk or run in very early in the morning. It's a little on the cool side still with temperatures that are in the 30s, but the skies, they are in the process of clearing out. We're working sunshine into the forecast soon as the sun comes up, which is a little after 7 o'clock this time of year. And then high temperatures later on today with skies that'll be mostly sunny. We'll be topping off anywhere from 62 degrees in Kokomo to about 66 in Columbus, Bloomington at 65 degrees. So all in all, it's a very sunny and seasonable day for us, Lauren. And we're going to kind of be up and down temperature-wise here throughout the week. We'll talk more about that with your 7-day planning forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Todd, thank you. We now know the reason behind a lag in coronavirus testing in the United States. Straight ahead, the reason behind the slowdown and how it's being fixed. And they say when you look good, you feel good. And that might be one reason why a beauty company is seeing a boom in business despite the stay-at-home orders. Coming up, just how much business increased for L'Oreal during its first quarter. We'll be right back.
Listen to your heart. New ABC Tonight.
Welcome back. It's 5:15. Our Hiring Hoosiers works to connect you with all things surrounding jobs, resources, and training. And this morning, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles is working to get more truckers on the roads to deliver those critical supplies. The BMV is opening 3 more branches around the state by appointment only to process new commercial learners permits, new CDL or commercial driver's license, and upgrade or download the CDL to add to the tank vehicle or hazardous materials endorsement. Indianapolis West on Crawfordsville Road is already open for this service. Starting today, the Beech Grove and Carmel branches will also be open for these specific appointments. And this morning, the Indiana Department of Corrections has help wanted signs posted. The department will host 3 virtual job fairs this week. The first is this afternoon and will feature careers at the Pendleton Juvenile Correctional Facility. The virtual job fair is from 1 to 2 p.m. The DOC is using Microsoft Teams to host these virtual fairs. To find out how to set up an appointment or to see other job postings and resources, you can visit hiringhoosiers.com. Now to Democracy 2020. Due to the coronavirus outbreak, the Indiana Election Commission has changed some policies for the state's June 2nd primary election. The changes include limited early in-person voting that'll be available for 1 week from May 26th to June 1st. Extra training and guidelines on mail handling procedures and personal protective equipment for counties. The open availability of public buildings such as fire stations and school buildings, and all absentee ballot applications submitted after December 2nd will be accepted regardless of the excuse given, as long as they were otherwise compliant with Indiana law. Officials from the Food and Drug Administration are now explaining the lag in coronavirus testing in the U.S. The agency says the CDC appeared to violate its own manufacturing protocol, causing the test to become contaminated. The FDA sent an official letter to the Atlanta-based agency in February when testing issues were first reported. Working together, the FDA and CDC determined the design of the test was was fine. It is 5:17. The CEO of Netflix has donated $30 million towards research for a coronavirus vaccine. Reed Hastings and his wife gave money to the Gavi Alliance, the nonprofit organization founded by Bill Gates Foundation, and the funds will reportedly be spent on speeding up the COVID-19 vaccine development and also help with distribution once it's available. Gavi Alliance says its goal is to immunize 300 million children over the next 5 years. Right now, we want to get a check of our forecast. Todd, we are starting out a little bit cool this morning, but we have some good news coming later today.
Yeah, there's a lot of good news. One, it's going to be sunny, Lauren, and two, it's going to be seasonable temperature-wise. But you're right, this morning it is a little chilly, especially to the north with temperatures in the 30s, but it's better than where we were last week when we had temperatures in a couple mornings down into the 20s. 41 right now in Bloomington, and in and around the metro area, you see temperatures range from 38 in Fishers and Greenwood to 41 in Plainfield, 40 degrees up in Zionsville as you make your way into Boone County. Here's the good news, though. Sunshine right off the bat, and temperatures will warm all the way up into the 60s later on this afternoon. And so it's going to be a quick warmer of a day for us with temperatures, again, getting to that seasonal level right around 64, 65 degrees. The clouds, they have been in the process of moving out of the area. Yesterday, we had some clouds around. Then they thinned for some sunshine in the afternoon hours, and now we're just completely getting rid of them. That is the good news. Unfortunately, for those friends to the south, there's quite a bit of severe weather that's taking place right now with this cold front that's sweeping across parts of Florida, where there's a tornado watch in effect for Jacksonville down towards the Orlando area. But we are avoiding not only that system, but also some storms off to our west. However, overnight tonight, there is a cold front that will come through. And now this front's going to come through very uneventful. There could be a few spot showers that try to sneak in here right around sunset. But again, the daytime hours should be just fine. And any showers that we do see throughout the overnight hours are going to be very light. They are going to be very spotty, and we will be done with them by the time we get to daybreak tomorrow. So that's the good news. However, what this front will do, it will cool us off. We will see temperatures be much cooler come the day tomorrow. We'll start off in the 30s and 40s, but the problem tomorrow is even with sunshine, which there'll be plenty of it, there'll be the lack of warming. We're just not going to see our temperatures climb much tomorrow, and that's due to more of a northwesterly wind. But it's just a one-day deal. That is the good news about this. We will start to warm these temperatures up very, very quickly once we work our way back into the middle half of the week. Wednesday back up to 65 degrees and the 60s for Thursday and Friday. It does look like Thursday, though, Lauren, will potentially be the wettest day of this week with numerous showers that could be around. But at this point, it doesn't look like we're dealing with any thunderstorms, so it's just going to be plain old showers. And most people, after last week when it was so chilly, I think we'll take the warm up here with temperatures in the 50s and 60s throughout the next 7 days.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a look right now in the downtown area. This is I-65 and I-70 at the North Split. You can see traffic is moving along up to speed in this spot. We do have that eastbound I-70 closure still in effect for that long-term NDOT project between here and the east side at 465. Later this week, in a few days, they plan to close the westbound lanes as well of I-70. That is scheduled to last for 30 days as they do work on both sides of the interstate. We'll keep you updated on that major project, but avoid that spot and expect some lane closures as you head into the downtown area due to the eastbound closure. Well, just because a lot of people aren't leaving their homes doesn't mean they don't want to look good. The world's largest cosmetic company says the demand for beauty products remains very strong. L'Oreal says online sales in China increased 67% while the nation was in the middle of a shutdown. And the company says worldwide there was a 53% increase in online sales. Skincare and hair products seem to be the most in demand, especially hair dye. While Hallmark is giving away $2 million thank you cards, It's a way to help people share their appreciation for heroes in their lives. To get the cards, you can head to the company's website and fill out a form. You'll then be sent a 3-pack of gratitude cards to send to your heroes. The offer is good until supplies run out.
We started off with a little modest figure, but we thought we might try and raise £1,000.
A World War II vet raising millions to help support COVID relief efforts in England. Coming up, how his efforts are now being rewarded. And at 5:30, new drive-through COVID-19 tests are now being opened today. We'll tell you where and who's eligible to attend. It is 5:22. Stick around. We'll be right back.
I can't think of a more worthy person to be the guest of honour at the opening of the new Nightingale Hospital in Harrogate next week.
Well, a World War II vet is being honored for his efforts to raise money to help healthcare workers in England. You may remember we told you about Captain Tom Moore last week. The 99-year-old walked 100 laps around his garden. His goal to raise £1,000 to donate to the National Health Service. Instead, he ended up raising more than $25 million. To help honor him for his efforts, Captain Moore will be a guest of honor at the opening of the new Nightingale Field Hospital next week. Captain Moore has also been recognized by several British stars, including Prince William and Harry, and also David Beckham. And we just love following his story. Such a great story there, and he raised so much money, and thank you for your service as well. All right, Todd, we got to get a check of our forecast for today. A lot of folks are looking forward to getting outside, maybe getting the kids outside for a little bit after a cold week last week.
Yeah, you know, last week was miserable. We were in the 40s. We had some snow. We had some sleet. We had some rain. This week, it's much better. We'll have a lot of sunshine. Temperatures will kind of be up and down here throughout the course of the next couple days. Today's a seasonable day at 64 degrees. Tomorrow is sunny as well, with a temperature, though, of only 53 degrees. So it is a lot cooler tomorrow, but we jump right back up into the 60s on Wednesday. The wettest day potentially this week will be Thursday as numerous showers make their way through the area. Lauren.
Live on CourtTV.com. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Hoosiers are having trouble getting their stimulus checks. This morning, we are digging into the issues that you might be having. Plus, the impacts from the coronavirus are also being felt by our local governments. Now at 5:30, we're looking at how the pandemic is impacting local tax revenue. But before we get to our top stories today, we want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. 5:30 here. It is Monday morning, the start of a new work week, and many people may still be working from home, including Todd Clausen this morning. Todd, good morning to you. What can we expect as people are heading outside today?
Yeah, Lauren, first of all, good morning to you as well. As you walk out this morning, it's going to be chilly, but we'll have plenty of sunshine in the forecast. So you need the light jacket here this morning, but then by this afternoon, you'll probably be able to shed that jacket. Sunglasses will be needed as well throughout the day today. And don't forget the sunscreen. I just sent out a Facebook post as well as a tweet. The UV index, believe it or not, this time of year now is getting stronger. So today it's at a 7 on the scale of 1 to 10. So you can get sunburn, as my forehead will well attest to that. Yesterday, even with that little bit of sunshine, I forgot to put the sunscreen on, and you can get the sunburn within about 15 to 20 minutes, and we'll have plenty of sunshine throughout the entire day today. We're missing out on the storms to our south. You notice that rain near Omaha, Nebraska. Overnight tonight, there will be the opportunity of a few isolated showers, but they don't get here until probably sunset and then into the overnight hours. So the daytime hours today will be in great shape. 56 degrees by the noon hour with high temperatures. Lauren, later on this afternoon, topping off in the mid-60s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. This is south of downtown I-65 at Keystone Avenue. Crews are still working hard on that bridge project here. So as you're traveling northbound on I-65, once you get to Keystone Avenue, you'll need to slow way down because there's a huge traffic shift that was put into effect over the weekend. You'll have to shift all the way over to the left to get into the southbound lanes. All traffic is moving in the southbound lanes this morning. That means southbound lanes are restricted down to about 1 or 2 lanes through the area. So just use caution. You can see traffic right now on our screen is moving along up to speed in both directions, but you can see there that big traffic shift, and that traffic is all on that southbound side. We'll continue to monitor that project and keep you updated. But here at 5:32, we are continuing to follow the very latest on the COVID-19 outbreak. More than 11,000 cases have been confirmed here in the state of Indiana. In the latest report, the Indiana State Department of Health confirming 577 more cases and 17 more deaths. A total of 562 Hoosiers have died from this disease so far. Now, according to Johns Hopkins University, more than 700,000 cases have been confirmed in the United States. More than 70,000 of those have reportedly recovered from this disease. And across the country, people are wondering when their stimulus check will hit their bank account. This morning, some Hoosiers are having problems receiving the check. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with more details and what you can expect. Hey, Kelsey.
Hey, good morning. So one of the roadblocks we've heard about is people logging onto the IRS's website to check on the status, and it looks like their check has been deposited into a different bank account. Jeff Hughes of Richmond contacted Call 6 Investigates after he went to the IRS website to check the status of his refund. He says he did not recognize the last 4 digits on the account. The IRS has said if a check goes to a closed account, the bank will reject it and you'll get a paper check in the mail. Jeff was worried someone out there might have his money.
But I know the account number is not an old account of mine. So, I've tried to reach out to the IRS, got nowhere. Tried to contact Greg Pence. And of course, I've not heard a thing from his office. So, I also reached out to you, and hopefully we can figure something out.
Thankfully, Jeff says the money finally did show up in his bank account. Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny reached out to the national and local IRS to learn why this is happening and what you should do, but we are still waiting to hear back. Now, some Hoosiers have also complained that their banks, have taken their stimulus checks to pay garnishments. And according to the governor's office, there is a petition that should be voted on in the next few days to stop that from happening. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
All right, Kelsey, thank you so much. It is 5:35. The exact impact of COVID-19 on Indiana's economy is still yet to be known. However, experts at Ball State are working to figure out what the virus could cost us on both state and local government levels. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us with the details this morning on those numbers and what it could mean for you. Alyssa.
A team at Ball State University has been working to determine how the lack in certain tax revenue streams will impact both state and local governments when we return to normal. They found that we could see a more than $200 million loss in tax revenue. According to Michael Hicks, the director of Ball State's Center for Business and Economic Research, that is an optimistic outlook. The team examined tax revenue streams that local and state governments depend on. Everything from bar and restaurant taxes, innkeepers taxes, and gaming taxes. With the closures currently in place, most of those taxes are coming in at very small percentages, which Hicks says will have the potential for long-term effects on us. While many taxpayers are at or near the property tax capacity, Hicks doesn't expect that to be impacted. But instead, these losses will show in the form of government services.
So it's really people cost. So, maybe the pool won't be open as late on weekdays during the summer. Maybe parks won't have the maintenance done on them. Maybe you won't see the upgrades over the summer, both this year and next year.
And one important note from Hicks, Indiana's state and local governments seem to have been better prepared for this situation than some other areas across the country, mainly due to larger rainy day funds. And Hicks says that puts us in a better position to recover. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. It is 5:36. During the pandemic, businesses are working to make sure that they're properly sanitizing and cleaning their facilities, especially if an employee shows symptoms. Now, to take proper steps, they call on cleaning companies like Stratus Building Solutions, who's seeing a large increase in business. Stratus follows CDC guidelines, which calls for employees to leave the building for 4 hours to allow all those droplets to fall to the ground, and then they sanitize everything. They normally clean spaces like gyms, offices, and schools. The company's president says they never used to get emergency calls, but now they do.
That's really shifted as a result of COVID-19. I mean, my phone has rung really around the clock. We've become more responsive to emergent situations as they've kind of popped up, and making sure that we're sanitizing those facilities and giving people a chance to get back into their work environments if they're an essential business as soon as they can.
Well, the company's president says your biggest concern when cleaning should be high-touch areas like doorknobs, keyboards, refrigerators. He says it starts with prevention, like hand washing and sanitizing those areas at both your home and also your workspace. Starting today, the Indiana State Health Department is hosting more COVID-19 drive-through testing clinics all around the state. 4 new sites will open. Those are in Fort Wayne, Gary, Greensburg, and Sellersburg. The clinics run from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Wednesday. They're open to symptomatic healthcare workers, first responders, and essential workers. Testing will also be available to people showing symptoms who live with one of those workers or have underlying medical conditions. RTV6 is committed to helping Hoosiers find job opportunities and resources. Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative is one that's been focusing on that for more than a year now. So if you are out of work due to the COVID-19 pandemic and you need money to pay your bills, Dollar General is hiring for temporary positions. They're looking to add about 50,000 new employees by the end of April as they continue to support their customers during this pandemic. A company spokeswoman says they believe a lot of the new customers are relying on them now more than ever to stretch their budget. They also announced a $35 million investment in employee bonuses. And the spokesperson tells us that if you come on board now, you will be eligible for the bonus. Walmart says it is hiring 50,000 more workers because of the increased demand. Last month, the company announcing it already had a goal of hiring 150,000 new employees. Walmart says the openings include both part-time and full-time positions. Well, COVID-19 is impacting a local foundation that focuses on helping the environment by planting new trees every year. But the group is figuring out a way to still meet that goal. Hans Heitzelman owns a hardwood floor company in Muncie. Years ago, he started planting a tree for every floor job. He then met Charlie Mason, who loves trees and also had a mission to plant them and educate people. The two developed the Plant Roots Foundation. For the past 9 years, they've planted trees with Cub Scouts and sent trees home with each one of them. But this year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and no Scout program, they had to come up with a plan B.
It's a little disheartening. It's a good program. The boys love it. So people like doing it. And so then we just had to think our way around that and figure out how we were going to make this happen. Because you've got 1,000 trees, and they're coming, and they're alive, and something has to be done with them.
Also this weekend, they did a mass planting while social distancing at a private residence in Muncie where they planted hundreds of trees. And then they gave out about 100 more in Muncie at the Hub Garden. What's left, they'll put in pots to summer over, and then they'll give those away at the Art Walk in the fall. All right, Todd, here at 540, a lot of people may be getting outside this week to maybe do some yard cleanup and get ready for some spring planting. We have the right weather to do so today.
Yeah, you read my mind. You see behind me, I have this nice picture of some random neighborhood with some houses, some streets, some trees out there. And you read my mind. We're talking about the exercise forecast here, Lauren. And after the exercise, maybe you're going to do some yard work. But today, if you're going to be heading out and about, no alerts. That's the good news. It's a very comfortable day. You don't have to worry about any precipitation from 6 a.m. here all the way throughout the afternoon hours. We are going to be in good shape. One area we're probably not as in good enough shape is if you're like me, you may be sneezing and sniffling a little bit, and that's because the tree pollen is really starting to climb here across the area as these trees start to get their leaves on. It's up to a moderate level right now. Ragweed and grass, not too much of an issue, but obviously if you are going to be out and about for an extended period of time, you may want to take a shower once you get back in, especially before you go to bed, to wash off some of that pollen from your skin and your hair. We'll talk more about your extended forecast for you coming up in just a little bit.
Todd, thank you. These days, a lot of people are sewing handmade masks. We're working for you and finding out the science of which fabrics stop the viruses the best. It is 5:41. Stick around. We'll be right back. Out Dupixent. Welcome back. More than 2 million cases of COVID-19 have been reported across the globe. One of the latest hotspots is Turkey, which confirmed nearly 4,000 cases within 24 hours. They've surpassed China with more than 86,000 cases total. More than 2,000 have died. Turkey is currently the 7th most infected country behind the U.S. and other parts of Europe. The government has taken a different approach to battling this outbreak. It's restricting the movement of certain age groups and has limited curfew in some locations. Some good news now in France. The country has passed the peak of the pandemic. Prime Minister Edouard Philippe made this announcement yesterday. France has the fourth most deaths in the world with more than 19,000. Philippe says that the number of patients in the ICU has decreased day after day since reaching the peak. The time right now is 5:45. We want to talk about our Storm Team 6 forecast right now. And Todd, you are standing by with some good news as we start a new work week.
Yeah, you know, we're starting the week off on a bright note, obviously once the sun comes up, and also temperatures are going to be very seasonable. Now, it's a little bit chilly here this morning, but those temperatures will warm very quickly once the sun comes up, and it's a dry day for the most part. Once we get into the evening hours, we're talking about 8 o'clock onward, there will be the chance of a spot shower or two. I really don't think it's going to impact you unless you're going to be out after sunset, which is a little after 8:30 this time of year. So just know that there will be a spot shower chance in the forecast, just in case you pull up that app on your phone and it shows a little sprinkle at some point throughout the day. It's very late, and the daytime hours, you are A-OK. Temperatures this morning in the 30s and 40s. 41 in Indy right now, 37 in Peru, 39 in Muncie. In and around the metro area, temperatures range from 38 in Greenfield and New Pal to 42 degrees currently over in the Plainfield area. So we had some clouds around, as you well know, yesterday. They thinned out during the afternoon hours for some sunshine. And now those clouds continue to push further off towards the east, and we'll continue to have a mainly clear sky until those shower chances arrive later on this evening. So take full advantage of the weather today. We'll start off in the low 40s here at 9 a.m. We're into the mid-50s by the noon hour, mid-60s later on this afternoon, as our high should top off right around that 64-degree mark. Let's talk about those showers quickly on TrueCast, 2:30 in the afternoon. As you see on the top right-hand portion of your screen there, we're still enjoying the sunshine. As we work our way into the evening hours, and this is when those spotty showers arrive. If you do see them, they are going to be very, very light. They are not going to cause a major issue. They go through during the overnight hours, part of a cold front working its way through, and by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, there could be just a tiny bit of cloud cover to start our Tuesday, but that moves out as well, and we get into a lot of sunshine. Temperatures tomorrow morning, very similar to this morning. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s. The difference is tomorrow, our temperatures are just not going to climb much throughout the day, and that's due to a northwesterly wind. It's a little breezy tomorrow as well. So tomorrow is definitely going to be the coolest day in our 7-day planning forecast, but we rebound right back into the mid-60s on Wednesday with sunshine. Thursday has the potential to be fairly wet with scattered showers moving through 62 degrees, and then spotty showers remain in the forecast for Friday and Saturday. But Friday and Saturday definitely not washouts. There'll be a lot of dry hours, Lauren, mixed in there as well, and then just slightly cooler on Sunday as we get back down to 57 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, are you making your own face mask? Patrick Terpstra with our partners at Newsy talked to scientists about which household fabrics are the best and the worst for filtering out viruses. And we'll get more to that report in just a few moments, having just a few technical difficulties here. Still to come, we know that Hoosiers are known for hospitality, right? And that's no different during the pandemic. Coming up, we'll show you how our neighbors are working together to better our community. The time right now is 5:49. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The time right now is 5:52. Here's a live look in the downtown area, I-65 and I-70 at the North Split. Traffic is moving along up to speed, as you can see. Just a reminder, eastbound lanes of I-70 are closed between here and the east side at 465. The westbound lanes set to close later this week. We'll keep you updated. From police helping senior citizens to a local bridal shop, keeping the spirit of love alive, here's some other ways Hoosiers are working together during this crisis.
Some of these seniors don't have any family in the area.
The Southport Police Department has become a distribution center for seniors in Perry Township.
So I don't know what they would do if we didn't provide services like this.
Throughout the day, officers take turns making the deliveries. At this address, Diana Scott was waiting. She recently had open heart surgery and can't leave her home.
I hope everybody that's got the virus, I just hope they make it through it.
With so many wedding plans put on hold and others facing their own challenges, this bridal shop wanted to make sure love is still in the air. Anne-Marie Calling is one part of the mother-daughter duo behind Marie Gabriel Couture Bridal.
Love is a great work environment, and we get to see this on a daily basis. We know how happy it makes us. We thought it could make others happy at the end of the day.
So they're asking their followers on Instagram to share a chapter of their love story. And for each story, the store will donate $10 to Wheeler Mission and Meals on Wheels. Marie Gabriel Couture has received almost 100 responses so far, turning into a $2,000 donation from the company and their family to the Indy area charities.
It's a little bit that we can do as Marie Gabriel back to the community that's helped us so much.
Well, we want to hear more stories of Hoosiers working together during this difficult time, so you can share the positive efforts going on in your community by emailing us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. A Virginia woman is creating buzz in her neighborhood with creative and uplifting porch performances. Every day, Erin Kemble dresses up in a different character with a sign that has an encouraging or funny message on it, like Willy Wonka's "Don't Be Blue" and Napoleon Dynamite's "You Are Dynamite," or E.T. and Elliot with a sign saying "Stay home." Another day, she donned a homemade Smokey the Bear outfit holding a sign that reads, "Only you can prevent the spread of the virus." Erin says that she'll keep her performances going until social distancing orders are lifted. All right, we know here in Indiana, social distancing is still an important thing, Todd, and a lot of people may be able to get outside and socially distance today because we have a pretty great forecast.
Yeah, and I encourage you to get outside at some point throughout the day today, Lauren, especially after last week when we were kind of cooped in a little more. If you did venture out, you had to wear the gloves and the hat with those chilly temperatures. Today, we're starting off on the cool side, but look at these high temperatures later on this afternoon. We're getting all the way up into the low to mid 60s across the area with plenty of sunshine. That is the good news in the forecast. Late tonight, there will be the chance of a few spot showers, but they arrive at sunset and then into the overnight hours. If you do see them, they'll be very, very light. Tomorrow, it's a cooler day for us. We're back down about 53 degrees for your high temperature. It's a little breezy as well, so it's going to feel a little bit cooler than that actual high of 53 degrees, but at least it's a bright day for us. And then we're right back into the mid-60s on Wednesday. Thursday's the day we target this week for the most numerous showers to be across the area. Not a major storm system, but does have the potential to be a fairly dreary day for us with a high temperature. That'll be right around 62 degrees. Lauren?
Todd, thanks. Hoosiers in all lines of work are feeling the business impacts of COVID-19. Coming up, all new at 6 o'clock, Rafael Sanchez talks to one vet and a restaurant worker about why her unemployment claim was denied. It's 5:56. Let's take a live look outside right now. This is our Weather Now camera, downtown view to the west. We'll continue to check in with Todd and get a full look at his forecast, plus news of the day that's coming up when we come back after this short break.